Right. So this chapter, we are going to learn about the meaning of advertising, the objectives, the importance and merits, the meaning of an advertising agency, functions, social advertising media, and sales promotion. Very important. As and when we will go, this is one of the most important chapters for your boards because a lot of questions are covered from advertising. Okay, let's take, and it's the maximum number of times the questions have come from this chapter, right? I'm going to start with the meaning of advertising. Now, what is advertising? Okay, let's start with that. Advertising, according to the American Marketing Association, is any paid form of non-personal presentation or promotion of ideas, goods, or services by an identified sponsor. Now, if you look at the definition itself expresses the meaning of the term advertising. And how so? Paid form. Whenever I want to advertise something, whenever a company wants to advertise something, it has to pay money for it. Okay, it's not done free of cost. Whether I put an advertisement in a newspaper, whether I put the advertisement on television, through internet, through social media, it has to be a paid platform. Non-personal. Advertisement in point of view of an organization or a company is always non-personal. What do you understand by non-personal? Anyone? What is non-personal?
Like it is professional.
It's very professional, it's formal, it's a formal platform. It's, we are not advertising just to, showcase our own self, isn't it? Here advertisement we are speaking about from the point of view of selling something, like selling a product or a service. So hence it is a non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods or services by an identified sponsor. Who's a sponsor?
The company.
Sponsor is you can say sponsor refers to the sponsored or the person who is willing to advertise, the person who is willing to pay money for the advertisement. He becomes the sponsorer. So if I am putting an advertisement in the newspaper, say like I am selling a service, so I am putting an advertisement for it. So obviously who's going to pay the money for the advertisement? Me, because I become the sponsorer then. In the words of Stanton, advertisement or advertising consists of all the activities involved in presenting to a group a non-personal, oral, or visual, openly sponsored message regarding a product, service, or idea. This message is called an advertisement. It is disseminated through one or more media and paid by the identified sponsor. What does the term disseminated mean? Disseminated mean that advertisement is not only being paid for, we are also spreading ideas through advertisement. We are trying to reach a mass group of people at the same time, right? When I'm putting the advertisement in the newspaper, is it that only I am going to read it or only 2 people will read it? No, it's spreading wide and far because the newspaper is traveled across the country, across the nation, so many people are reading it. Same way, when we post something on the internet or we post something on the YouTube or on any other platform, what happens? That advertisement is read by almost everyone or seen by everyone on TV. So we reach a large number of people. Clear? Right? So what is the meaning of the term? I hope I am being clear to you regarding it. There is no problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to the next part then. Features of advertising. Okay. Let's start with that. The main features of advertising are as follows. Before that, in your textbooks, kindly, please, everyone, underline the definition of advertising. That is on page 21. According to the American Marketing Association, advertising is any paid form of non-personal presentation or promotion of ideas, goods or services by an identified sponsor. I hope you all have got that definition. It's on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
Okay, great. So let's go to the important features of advertising. Number one, the first important feature is it is impersonal. As I said, it is a non-personal form of presentation or promotion of products, services, and idea. There is no face-to-face contact with the customer. Okay, impersonal also means that you're not having any contact with your customer directly. Is it that when I have launched a new product in the market, am I going to meet each and every customer who's going to buy the product? No,
No, ma'am.
right? So it's impersonal, right? You're not going to personally meet the customers here to present your product, service, or idea. Second, as I said, it is a paid form of communication. Paid form because you have to pay money for it. Do you know that little advertisement in the newspaper costs as many thousands? Those small advertisements for jobs, for other things which we see are so expensive, right? The advertisements are communicated through various advertising media, and the advertiser has to pay for the space or time hired to the owner of a media, right? I hope I'm being clear to everyone. It is a paid form of communication. Then it is issued by an identified sponsor. Okay, the advertisements contain the name of the advertisers. Okay, it is a form of mass communication. Mass communication because we can reach out to a large number of people at the same time. The message is directed to a large number of people simultaneously. Advertising is different from publicity, which refers to communication of non-sponsored commercially significant information about an organization or its product and services through non-personal media. So what is publicity? Does anyone have an idea of what is publicity?
To promote a good,
To promote a good, okay, but how? Then how is it different from advertising?
because we are in direct contact with a mass population.
So in advertising also we are being in contact with the mass population, isn't it? But
Ma'am,
in
in
case,
promotion, we
no,
are
I'm talking about
speaking to
publicity. Publicity. Here the line says that advertising is different from publicity. So how is advertising different from publicity? That's what I'm trying to ask. What is publicity? Any idea, anyone? Okay, let's come to the point then. Publicity basically refers to, again, you can say it can be a personal or it can be an impersonal form of promotion.
Yes.
But here the promotion can be done even through the media about an organization or a firm
Yes, yes.
when the firm is not being involved in the situation. Like in the sense, it's not that the firm has willing to pay money to advertise itself, but some event has taken place because of which the firm became very popular. So the media is going to cover it. It's getting a positive publicity because of it. It could be sometimes that some incident has gone on the negative side, or some fire has broken out in a firm. That news also gets advertised through publicity by the media, but doesn't mean we are paying money for it separately, right? So in publicity you might not have an identified sponsor. What about the film actors, the politicians? They constantly get publicity in the media line. Yes or no? Even a small thing anyone does, there is a big media coverage regarding them. So that is what are they getting? They are getting publicity. Okay, they are either getting positive publicity or they're getting negative publicity. Doesn't mean they're going to pay money for it. There is no identified sponsor involved in publicity as it would be involved in advertising. I hope I'm being clear. That's why advertising is different from publicity, which refers to communication of non-sponsored, most importantly, commercially significant information about the organization, about the product, about the service, and through non-personal media. Obviously, doesn't mean that face-to-face I'm going to go and meet the politician and say I'm going to do publicity on it. Right? Yeah?
Yes. Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
so let's go to the differences between advertising and publicity. Okay, let's start. First and foremost, advertising is done by an identified sponsor. You definitely need a sponsor to do an advertising activity. It can be any way he can advertise: on television, on newspaper, on social media, on net, any radio. You have many forms of advertising. Outdoor advertising, there's also something called mural advertising. What is mural advertising? Does anyone know about it? It's also a
No,
very
ma'am.
popular form of advertising. Advertising done on billboards, advertising done on, those big huge boards where paintings are done to promote movies, right? That's nothing but mural advertising. Publicity, a sponsorer is not required. You do not need a sponsorer in publicity. Advertising is paid for. Publicity is not directly paid for. Okay. Nature. Advertising always is impersonal. Publicity can be personal, it can be impersonal. Control. The sponsor has direct control over the size and frequency of the message. Now, obviously, as a sponsorer, okay, if I'm going to say I'm choosing 10 lines for my advertisement, or I'm choosing, say, 5 lines or 3 lines, so then that advertisement which I am putting across, okay, that has to be properly, the size, the frequency. Accordingly, you're going to make the payment for it. The sponsor does not control the size and frequency of message. Versatility. Advertisement is as per a format, right? So it's less versatile. What will be the picture? What will be the content? What is the slogan? So it's not so versatile. You go through a particular format. Publicity can be anyhow, so it's obviously more versatile. Advertising stimulates and creates demand for production or service. The main purpose of advertisement is that people are going to look at the advertisement, they're going to get inspired by it, and they're going to stimulate and create a demand for it, right? On the other hand, if you look at publicity, it is to create a more favorable public opinion about the organization and its activities. Divyata, I want your video on, please. I want to see each one of you.
Okay, ma'am.
Create a favorable public opinion about the organization and its activities. Krishna, Muskan, Meet, I would want to see all of you. Please be present. Okay, commercial value. Advertising, it has a commercial value. It may or may not have a commercial value. So in advertising, why does it have a commercial value? Because you're going to pay money for it. So it's having a commercial value. But if you look at publicity, it may or may not have commercial value. We are not always paying money for the same. I hope I'm being very, very clear with the differences between advertising and publicity. Anyone
Yes,
have
ma'am.
any questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So one by one, you all are going to answer now. Okay, let's start. First, okay, Krishna, give me one difference between advertising and publicity, please.
Sponsor.
Okay, there is an identified sponsor in who? In which field? Advertising or in publicity?
Ma'am, there is an identified sponsor in advertising.
Okay, very good. Avani, second one.
Ma'am, payment, advertising, it is paid by the sponsor, and in publicity is direct. It's not directly. It is not directly paid by the sponsor.
Okay, Divyata.
Nature.
Okay.
Advertising is always impersonal, and on the other hand, publicity can be both personal or impersonal.
Very good. Zara.
Ma'am, versatility, less, advertising is less versatile, publicity is more versatile.
Okay. Muskan. Muskan. Meet.
Commercial value.
Okay.
Advertising has a commercial value. Publicity may or may not have a commercial value.
So I hope I'm being absolutely clear now with the differences between advertising and publicity. Okay. So we've
Yes,
already
ma'am.
got the meaning of advertising. We've done the features of advertising. We've done the difference between advertising and publicity. Now I'm going to go to the objectives of advertising. The next topic. Objectives of advertising. Why are we going to advertise a product? Very, very important part. to, obviously the main objective would be what? To introduce a new product or to make the customer aware about the product in the market, to create an interest among the prospective customer. When you are designing a product, you are in particularly targeting a customer. You are targeting that he or she should be my customer. So the target group could be the middle income group, target group could be youngsters, target group could be old age group. So according to the prospective customer, you're going to introduce the new product and you're going to make people aware about it. You're going to enter the market and attract a new group of customers. That is the main idea. Let's say I am going to sell something for the middle income group, okay, which generally they are more comfortable. The office going people are buying, say laptop. It's something targeting more of the youngster group or the office goers. But look at, for example, the old age group. They would love to spend a lot of money on fitness procedures or, you know, having knee joint pains. So that the products available for them would be different. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Housewives would be looking at more of, you know, kitchen stuff or like, you know, cooking utensils, those kind of things. So the kind of customer you are targeting, that is the kind of product you're going to manufacture and enter the market for the same. You need to fight competition in the market by reminding users to buy the product. Obviously, when we see the advertisement, you will see 10 times the ad of Nirma coming or 20 times the ad of Surf Excel coming. That they are all actually same brand. That is what? Washing powder. But to
Yes.
fight competition, there are, and constantly to remind the people that please use this product, we are constantly fighting competition in the market by reminding users to buy the products. Creating brand preference and brand loyalty. With time, constantly we start buying something, we start liking the usability of it, because of which we start, yes, we get used to it. So we start liking that brand, okay, that brand preference or brand loyalty gets attained. They want to maintain the customer. Remember, advertisement is not for one-time selling. You want to constantly want the customer to buy the product from you. Okay, first time I launched something, the customer bought, now tata bye-bye. It's not like that, isn't it? You constantly want the customers to buy the product. So create brand preference and brand loyalty. Support personal selling.
Ma'am,
Yes.
there's some.
Yes, tell me, Krishna.
Ma'am, he's in an other
Yes.
area.
Ma'am.
That's why.
So then
Ma'am, there's some network problem. I can't hear you.
the network problem is at your end, not at my end, because all the others are being able to hear. If you're not being able to hear, just see the slides and follow what is being done. Okay? Right. To support personal selling by making customers aware of the product.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So to create brand preference, brand loyalty, and to support the personal selling. How am I going to support personal selling? Personal selling is by salespeople. Okay, they're going to each one's house, do door-to-door selling. That is personal selling. You can, so advertisement kind of supports the personal selling. If I already know about the product and someone has come to my house to sell it, it will be like a support for him because the customer is already aware about the product, right? Then
Yes,
to
ma'am.
enhance the goodwill of the firm by promising better quality at fair prices. Okay, I can also enhance the goodwill of the firm. How am I going to enhance the goodwill of the firm? By promoting better quality at fair prices. Try to raise the quality of your product by giving it at good prices. Okay. Second is to improve dealer relations, because dealers prefer but to sell products which are effectively advertised. Okay. Improve dealer relation. Another important feature is, or the objective is, that I want the dealers, the different dealers should have good relations amongst each other. Because if the dealers are good with the selling of the products, they will be selling the products more effectively they're able to market the products better, because we have dealer showrooms where we can go and purchase the product directly from them. Reach people inaccessible to salespeople. Sometimes certain people are inaccessible, right? So or they are living in remote areas where salespeople cannot go there. But if they have a radio or they have another means where the advertisement can reach them, then it would be helpful. Warn public against imitations or spurious products. So see that no one imitates the advertisements. Okay? You don't want identical products having the same advertisement, isn't it? You definitely want different advertisements for different products. So are the objectives totally clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Then we go to the importance or the merits of advertising. So I'm hoping till here, whatever I have done is being totally clear. Meaning of advertising,
Yes, ma'am.
features, objectives, and difference between advertising and publicity. Avni, can you repeat the meaning of advertisement for me before we go to the importance, the definition of advertising?
Ma'am, advertising any paid form of non-personal presentation or promotion for ideas, goods or services.
Excellent. Muskan, can you give me one feature of advertising? Any one feature? Is she there in the class or not?
She is not.
Again.
She just called me.
Why? What is the problem? Why is she going on and coming out constantly?
She is like कि class है कि नहीं है मेरा कुछ खुल नहीं रहा. I don't know.
Okay. Importance and merits of advertising. Before we do that, Meet, can you give me one feature of advertising? Meet.
It is issued by an identified sponsor.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to add on? Krishna, can you give me one feature before we go to the importance?
I know a difference.
Okay. Why not a feature? If difference also has the features only. Give anything. Okay. Whatever is coming to your mind, just say. Then we'll go to the importance. Come on.
The difference is that our advertisement has identified sponsorship,
And it is
the
paid.
other doesn't have identified.
Okay. So now let's go to the importance and merits of advertising. Advertisement is obviously very much beneficial to the producer, trader, customer, and society. Okay, one by one, I'm going to discuss the pointers. First, we are going to do that advertisement has become today an indispensable function in modern business, right? Why is it indispensable? If we do not advertise the product, we do not make people aware of the product, we do not make people aware of the brand value, are they going to come and buy products from the organization? They will not. So advertising is obviously a very, very important part of modern marketing today. It pervades all the economic, social life. In fact, it helps to disseminate information. It helps to transfer information, which is useful to businessmen, to consumers, and at large. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, Muskan is here, but her audio is not working.
Yes, it's okay. I've seen her chat message. So we'll be continuing with it. Okay? Right. First is to producers and traders. Okay. The first important merit I'm going to do is to producer and trader. In case of producer and trader, we obviously want to meet competition, right? All producers are going to try to give their best to get the best possible advertisement so they can meet cutthroat competition. It is an important means for facing competition. By creating brand loyalty, the customer also helps to maintain sales and market share for the producer. Okay. It supplements personal selling. It helps in sales promotion. Last time I told you about sales promotion, that sales promotion helps by providing coupons, by giving buy one, get one offers. Lots of different techniques are there of sales promotion, which we will be discussing in the next part of the lesson. Okay. It also creates a steady demand for the good. Not only it helps to meet competition, advertising helps to create a steady demand by smoothing out seasonal and other fluctuations. Certain products, as I said, they will not be available all times throughout the year. Let's say the demand for umbrella will be extremely high in the rainy season compared to, say, winter season, right? Most people will try to use umbrellas in the rainy season. Does it mean that umbrella will only be manufactured in the rainy season? No. It will be manufactured throughout the year. Yes, they will be stored. So for all seasonal as well as for steady demands, we need to advertise the product. Advertisement is used to emphasize different uses of the same product. How does it do that? Let's see. Advertisement is used to emphasize hot and cold uses of coffee. Cold coffee also it will promote because youngsters love to have cold coffee. And it will also promote hot coffee for the older generation who would love to go for an evening coffee and have at that time. So this way it is creating a steady demand by providing new uses of the same product. Okay. Third is higher sales volume. Advertisement helps to increase demand. It helps to expand the market and it helps to enhance the sales of the existing products. Okay. Through repeated advertisement, a producer can create new customers and enter the new market, right? It also creates new wants and increases the sales of the goods. Then comes the economies of scale. This I had explained when I had done marketing. What is economies of scale? I'll come to it. First, let me finish with introduction of new product. Then I'll come to that. Advertisement is helpful in introducing new products by creating awareness and gaining their acceptance, especially when something new comes out. How many of you know there was a time when blue Pepsi was introduced in the market? Anyone knows about it? Yes. So what had happened? Blue color Pepsi was introduced at one point. Blue color. So that time there was a lot of hype about this blue color Pepsi. How does it taste? Its color is very different. It has a new zeal and things like that. But so it was again, and there was too much of promotional measures and all done. But it was created at that time when the when the cricket matches used to take place and people really wanted to sit down, relax, and maybe have a cold drink or something like that. But then again, with time, the blue Pepsi faded out. Okay.
Yes, it was not that successful.
It was not that successful. So introduction of new products constantly keeps happening to encourage customers, to create new customers in the market. It's only when people try out new things we will know that how useful they are. What about Android phones? Were they there before? No. Right? You remember? I remember that when we started using mobile phones, we had those big mobile phones with the keypads.
Telecom one.
Yes, those kind.
Yes.
And then now what has happened with the touch screen being so much into use? The Androids have come out, the iPads and Apple, and so many new brands.
iOS.
Correct. So effective advertisement helps in overcoming the customer's resistance to new products. It helps the customer to get accustomed to using new products. Remember, I remember my mother, she used to take, grind things manually. But today we have the mixer grinder to quickly into a fine paste. So you are also adapting your customer to changes, okay, by introducing new products in the market. Then comes economies of scale. As I told you, that whenever a business starts, it starts with a gestation period. What is a gestation period? Does anyone know?
When the business does not incur profits but losses.
Excellent. That is your gestation period. That is the time when the business is not doing very well, right? So at that time, the cost of production is generally high for the businessman. So advertisement facilitates many distribution of goods. It reduces the dependence on middlemen. Okay, as dealers are more willing to stock and sell well advertised goods. So as and when the more and more products they start manufacturing and the cost of production starts going down and they start capturing a market share, if the cost of production will go down, they will be willing to sell the goods at a cheaper price to the customer. And this way their sales volume will also increase and they will achieve economies of scale. I remember when I did marketing, I had explained this point to you. So
Yes, ma'am.
And rapid sales turnover helps to reduce the cost of production. Mass distribution and steady demand leads to large-scale production and regular production. As a result, several economies of scale become available and the cost of production per unit starts going down. Remember, if the cost of production per unit will become lower, the product will start becoming cheaper, and the manufacturer or the producer or the company will be able to sell it at a cheaper rate. Okay. The last
Yes.
important, the second last benefit we are going to discuss is goodwill. Advertisement helps in creating a very good image of the firm. Okay, it builds a reputation for the product. A favorable image gets created because the brand starts becoming famous. We are constantly
Yes.
seeing that advertisement on TV, on the newspaper, with big pamphlets, on billboards, on hoardings. So it starts becoming popular. People start knowing, get to know about the product, right? It builds an image for them. It is through effective advertisement that Tatas, Birlas today have become household names. It has rightly been observed that doing business without advertisement is like smiling at someone in the dark. Okay, so that's how
Ma'am,
advertisement is helpful. Yes, tell me.
ma'am, when advertisements weren't there, how were products promoted?
Advertisement has been there since ages. I don't think so that there has been any time when advertisement was not there. But maybe the means were not that much. It were not so wide. There was no TV to advertisement to advertise the product, or even newspapers were not there. So at that time, obviously, we had the barter system where goods used to be sold. If you're taking that old traditional time of selling, and later on,
Mm.
as business came into existence, when modern business was formulated, advertisement was an important media all through. But with time, you can say that it has really become a big platform today. Okay, maybe it was on a very small scale. People used to do hand drawings and advertise, or through painting
Yes.
to be advertised. There was no digital platform, let's say. It was more handwritten or hand done. But today, digitally and technologically, it's become more advanced. Then comes employee morale. Okay, by building reputation of the firm, advertisement also provides a sense of security to the employees as well as to the employers. Okay, salespeople, they start feeling very happy as they sell the goods, and it's a kind of a job satisfaction also for them. They are achieving a market sale or a target which they had set for themselves. So it also builds the employees for it also builds the morale of the employees. So today I have only discussed the merits of advertising in point of view of producers and traders. Okay. Next class I will be taking advertisements benefit to the consumer and to the society, and then we will go to why advertisement is a social waste and the demerits of. So till here, whatever I have done, I hope I'm being absolutely clear. You have any questions to ask, you can put for, because recap of the things we covered today. Number one, meaning of advertisement.
Meaning of advertising, functions, differences, and
Promotion.
Features of advertisement. Once more for your recap. It is impersonal. It is a paid form of communication. It requires an identified sponsor.
identified sponsor. It is a form of mass
Mass
communication.
communication
And
It is
it is
different.
different from publicity.
and publicity.
Then we did the differences between advertisement and publicity. This generally comes more of a two marker. Okay, write the two differences between advertisement.
Sponsor, payment, nature, control, versatility,
Identified sponsor.
commercial value.
Sponsor may not be identified, paid for, not paid for. It will be impersonal, maybe both personal or impersonal. Sponsor has direct control. Here he does not. Less versatile and more versatile. It creates a demand. Okay? And you, in fact, you have to stimulate people to create a demand. Here you do not need to make a lot of measures to create the demand for the product. It has commercial value. It does not have commercial value. Then we did the different objectives of advertisement: to introduce a new product, entering a new market, fighting competition, creating brand
Yeah.
presence, okay, supporting personal selling, enhancing goodwill, improving dealer relations, reaching people who are inaccessible to salespersons, and warning the people against imitations.